Basic psychology. Biological rhythms. What are circadian rhythms? Did you know that our bodies have these internal biological clocks called circadian rhythms?
Circadian rhythms? I'm not familiar with that term. What are they?
Circadian rhythms are 24-hour cycles that regulate many of our bodily functions, like the sleep-wake cycle, hormone production, and even body temperature.
Wow, that's fascinating. So, what controls these circadian rhythms?
The main internal clock is located in the hypothalamus, in a part called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN. The SCN acts as a pacemaker, regulating the secretion of hormones like melatonin and cortisol.
I see. And how do external factors influence these circadian rhythms?
Light is a key external cue, or Zeitgeber, that can reset the circadian clock. Studies have shown that even shining light on the knees can affect the body's rhythms.
That's really interesting. What about other factors, like temperature and meal times?
Absolutely. Core body temperature follows a circadian rhythm, with the lowest point around 4:30 a.m. and the highest around 6 p.m. Meal times also act as external cues, helping to maintain these rhythms. Evaluating circadian rhythms. Askoff and Weaver found that even when people were placed in a bunker without any external cues, their circadian rhythms still persisted, ranging from 24 to 25 hours, and some even up to 29 hours.
Wow, that's fascinating. So, these internal clocks are not dependent on external factors?
That's right, but the study also showed that these internal clocks were not as accurate without external cues, known as Zeitgebers, to influence them.
I see. So, these external cues are important for regulating our internal biological clocks?
Exactly. Michel Sifry's study, where he spent 6 months in a cave without any external cues, found his circadian rhythm varied from 25 to 30 hours, further demonstrating the importance of these external factors.
That's really interesting. But don't these studies have some limitations?
You're right. The Askoff and Weaver study had a small sample size, and the artificial lab setting may have affected the ecological validity of the results. Sifry's study was also a single case study, so the findings may not be generalizable to the wider population.
I see. And what about individual differences in circadian rhythms?
Good point. Duffy et al. Found that some people are morning people, preferring to wake up and go to bed early, while others are evening people, preferring to stay up and wake up late. Infradian rhythms. Infradian rhythms are cycles that last more than a day, like days, weeks, months, or even annually.
That's fascinating. Can you give me some examples of infradian rhythms?
One of the most well-known examples is the menstrual cycle in women, which is regulated by hormones and occurs monthly.
Yes, I'm familiar with that one. What about other examples?
Another example is seasonal affective disorder, SAD, where people experience depression during the winter months due to changes in light and melatonin production.
Wow, I didn't realize that was linked to an infradian rhythm. That's really interesting.
Yes, and studies have also shown that there's an annual rhythm to human deaths, with more occurring in January. Infradian rhythms evaluation. Reinberg, 1967, reported on a case study of a woman who spent 3 months in a cave without natural lighting, and her menstrual cycle shortened to 25.7 days.
Wow, that's interesting. So the lack of light cues affected her menstrual cycle?
Yes, the research suggests that infradian rhythms are influenced by exogenous Zeitgebers, which are external cues like light. However, the study had low ecological validity, as living in a cave is not representative of natural settings.
So there could have been other factors at play, like temperature or noise, that influenced the results?
Exactly. The study lacked internal validity because other confounding variables couldn't be ruled out. Additionally, as it was a case study of a single individual, the results may not have external validity and be generalizable to the wider population.
I see. So the research on infradian rhythms and their synchronization is still inconclusive?
Yes, that's a fair assessment. Studies like the one by Russell et al., which found menstrual cycle synchronization through pheromones, have also been questioned for their statistical significance and the universality of women's cycles.
Interesting. So even though there seems to be some evidence for the role of exogenous Zeitgebers, the research on infradian rhythms still has limitations?
Exactly. But the understanding of infradian rhythms has led to practical applications, like the use of phototherapy for seasonal affective disorder, SAD. This highlights the importance of continuing to explore this field.